Welcome to Grumpy Old Reds, where it finished Forest 1, Wolves 1. And have we taken enough points going into the international break? Let's get started. Evening, everybody. Hope you're doing well, and welcome to another crazy grumpy old Reds, where we got a lot of topics to cover off. We're going to talk about the game. We'll talk about your lot's agenda with Sangare. We'll talk about my agenda with Elanga. There's a lot written down here, but I can't read. Is the ref? Should that not say a C-nut, Crypto, rather than what you wrote?
I misspelled it.
You misspelled it. Yeah, you put the U before the N, mate. And just
made it
so
into
you
a
know.
paragraph again.
Hope you guys are doing well. Make sure you hit the like, subscribe. Points wasted. We're going to cover this off because I've been having a think about this. And it looks like you guys have a lot of opinions. We've already got a poll up. Do you think we should have had more points than 5? And by the way, we're not looking at this in a negative way. We're looking at it objectively, as always. So let's get started. Get your highs in the chat. Ben, Crypto, and those are your names. Yes. How are you boys doing? You well? You well?
Yeah, all good. We were down at the game yesterday, so shout out.
And you gave away the prize before you just dropped the mic and ran off the stream the other day.
I wanted to. I had good intention to, but I didn't bring it with me, unfortunately. So send your address to Wolfie, and I'll post it out.
I am not being your PA on this one, mate. I'm not being your PA.
Or tweet me or X me or whatever it's called nowadays. What are you supposed to say nowadays?
Follow him. He's massive on X now. He's got over 600.
Yes,
you're
I've got
superstar.
607 followers to say.
Oh, sorry, and 7. My bad.
No, but I know the one thing I do like about this season is the games seem a lot more entertaining. I know some people don't care about that. Simon, for example, says he doesn't care about entertaining. He just wants to win. But I thought yesterday was a really entertaining game.
Mate, I was just saying hi. We hadn't really started.
Oh, okay. Hi, Stuart.
Yes. Let's say hi to Stuart. Stuart, man, you just in the last 24 hours. My God, bro. Thank you so much for the £10 in a super sticker. You're an absolute legend, buddy. Can't thank you enough, honestly. The amount it helps the channel is ridiculous. And let me, before Crypto went into his monologue, I was going to come and say hi to you, mate. You all well, bud?
Yeah, tired as usual, but I think everybody's tired at the moment, aren't they? So
is that because you were out all night celebrating, party on the birthday?
No, it's because I've got chronic fatigue syndrome, mate.
Oh, because you're old?
No.
And told me how old he was yesterday, and I literally couldn't believe it. Nobody will guess how old Ant is. Do you want to know how old Ant is, everyone?
This is a lie, by the way.
It's unbelievable. Seriously, nobody will believe it.
There's no way he told you. There's no way it took a year for me to get it out of him.
He told me, and I guarantee no one will believe this. Jocker, that's wrong. And
very naughty.
Is 37 years old.
I had a
terrible
paper round. The paper round I had when I was a kid was so long, mate, it put years on me.
I love that Hannah on Twitter actually thought you were 79. Shout out to Hannah, man.
Bradley, you were pretty close.
Anyway, let's get into the game. Let's start
what? Hang on, you people in the chat, stop being so nasty. If you can't say anything nice, don't say anything at all.
They're not saying anything. They're just putting numbers in. They got nothing to do with you. Keep putting the numbers in. Keep putting the numbers in. Mark saying, been entertaining myself watching all the Everton Bournemouth vlogs. Okay, I will tell you now, a little exclusive. Okay, it is 99% likely that there's going to be a Beat the Drop special tomorrow night at 8 p.m. And it is 100% certain that Everton Mike is going to be on it. So if you are going to tune in, if you tune into nothing else for the next 2 weeks on TV, in the cinema, at whatever, do not miss tomorrow, because he is beyond, and you're back. He's beyond boiling point.
Let me let you into a little secret, guys. He sent a message saying, "Please, can we have a Beat the Drop? Because I want to come on the Beat the Drop so I can."
Don't say why. Don't say why. Don't say why.
because I can't. Oh, okay.
Don't say that, man. That's harsh on the boy. He wants to come and beat the drop because he misses you guys, is what he said. Yeah. But I am telling you now, right? And again, Ant will back me up. He put a message in the group saying, I'm in the pub now, just go live and let me loose. So it's happening. And yes, Statman John will be there, no doubt to gloat. We've got confirmation from Rich as well, who's celebrating their first point. Chappie can't make it. I think Sorry Mike will be coming on. He's got a few questions to answer. I can't wait. Remember, it's 99% sure.
I'm going to do, my only contribution is going to be to sit here eating popcorn because them lot can fight amongst themselves. Because we're
in the top 10, mate. We're in the top 10. We're in the top 10. So it's got nothing to do with anything. Oh, you want Everton John on as well? Oh, should we do a double? Oh, Jeff, you devil, you.
Like it.
Oh, a double Everton special. We'll speak to Everton Mike. We'll see if we can get Angry John on. Yeah, we're gonna do some stuff with Ben as well. 1865. What a top bloke. We've been talking to him about doing some stuff. So anyway, let's focus back on. So little preview for you guys. That's on its way. Hopefully for you guys tomorrow. A beat the drop special. Everton John will demonetize it. We've already made our peace. We know it's going to be demonetized, right? Tomorrow is just about letting those poor Everton fans just unleash and we can bask in their glory.
It'll be nice, actually, for me not to be the one responsible for demonetization for a change.
Yes, Ez. Nice timing, bro.
Yes, guys. Sorry, guys. I'm here. How you doing, guys? Have we started yet? Have you been buying some time for me? Have you started?
Mate, we weren't waiting for you, mate. We were just chatting. We forgot you weren't even here.
That's cool.
We got so used to it from the other night. Me and Ant just soldiering through. Yeah, you two part-timers.
Whoa. Stop going on about that. Yeah, thank you, David. Stop going on about the other night. The other night was a long night for all of us, mate.
These prima donnas like to pop
just a belated birthday.
Did you hear what you just said, Dan?
I know.
Did you hear what you just said, Dan? Because it was a long night for all of us.
It wasn't.
Oh, you know what it is, Ant?
For some of us, it was a long night.
No, you know what it is, Ant? I reckon Ez was on that bloody plane that came from Denmark. That's probably why he got off halfway through.
I had people on yesterday saying to me, tell that Wolfie I was up till 4 a.m. in the morning on Twitter checking for this bloody Danish player.
It's exactly as we called it. A plane came into Nottingham, went to the city ground, and between us and the chat, we tried to figure out who it was.
What we didn't realise is that he was just coming to give Ant a surprise 70th birthday party.
Oh, backhand.
I'd like to say a big up to DJ Tone, who we met for the first time. One of the OGs.
Oh, nice.
He's been from the beginning. He's been around. So brilliant stuff.
OG, and is one of our OGs now. Jessica, Chris Wood's #1 fan with the £2. Evening, gents. Thank you so much, Jessica. Much love. And Matt becoming a new member as well. Thank you so much, Matt. Enjoy the perks. There's more coming you guys' way as the season goes on. All right, we haven't even started. Right. And kick us off. Quick 2 minutes each on the game.
Very quickly. I was disappointed, actually.
You're so negative.
Yeah, I know. No. I was just disappointed. I thought we went back to kind of Bournemouth settings. Crypto said it was an entertaining game. I've got to be honest with you. There were times in that second half when I was sat there and it was just boring. It was just passed sideways. They were attacking. Nothing much was happening. That's why we needed a spark from Nuno. But we'll get on to that.
Okay. What is that? That wasn't even.
I was saying to the guys, it's the first time in quite a while I've actually been excited about going to a Forest match rather than just, here we go again. And all that excitement was drained from me by that second half performance.
Just before I come to you, who actually did win the shirt, Crypto?
It was Matt.
Okay, there's about 90 Matts in the chat.
There is.
I will tell you exactly the YouTube name of who won it. It was Matthew.
Everyone who's not on Matt has just logged off.
It was Matt Redgrave. I can remember his surname.
Oh yeah, Matt Redgrave, yeah.
Are you serious? He also won the football prizes one. He got ticket number 100.
No,
Really?
This is conspiracy.
You'll have as many shirts as you soon, Crypto.
He can make a curtain, yeah. Congratulations to Matt. I call corruption on that. I don't know what guys, corruption or not. Let us know in the chat. It feels corrupt.
Well, it would have been if Matt had been turned up on Saturday and Crypto was saying, "I'm not sorry, not got it." That might have been corruption, but
guys, give us a quick opening stimuli on the game.
Yeah, because I got to put a caveat in. So I watched all the first half, but I didn't see much of the second half. So I'll do it based on.
You were having another nap?
No. I was busy. My man's got missions in it. Anyway,
making out alive.
So why is he on here? Why is he on here, man? He's always chilling with his new mates.
Yeah. We'll put it in a poll. Do I need to be on here anymore?
I don't know. Let's put it in a poll between us. Man's only watched half the match, right? He's coming here to give his expert opinion. He's buggering off with all his new mates. Now that he's some kind of celeb, right, in Nottingham, he's just buggering off with all his mates. And then he does a token half an hour on a Friday night while me and Ant are there for 4 hours, right? Wow. And he still wants to give us his opinion. I mean, seriously, Ant, should we take this, Ant?
I don't think we should, really. I think he's due some sort of forfeit, I reckon.
It's got to a stage where he only needs to watch 45 minutes of a game. How can you give a big insight to us? Like, are you that arrogant now that 45 minutes is enough for you to judge the whole game?
You watched the crap half as well.
I watched the best half, in my opinion, because I didn't see the second half. Okay, let me give you what I did here, right? One thing I'll say, 100%, I love that tempo in the first half.
Do you know what the score was, Ez?
Shut up, man. Right, the tempo in the first half. Stop trying to derail me. Please stop bringing up the chat. Let me just say my piece and then I'll shut up. And you guys can. Right, so I love the tempo of that first half. Although we were at risk of having another disastrous start. That chance that Ait-Nouri got, one that I actually saw, but Ait-Nouri chance and Murillo again. He was last ditch. He saved it on the line. So we could have come up to another disastrous start, much like Wednesday night, but. I gotta say, the tempo of the game was, well, what I saw was fantastic. I really enjoyed it, and there's one player that particularly stood out from what I saw, and that was, I've got to say, Anderson. His energy, his bravery, his set pieces. He really stood out for me yesterday. And if you take into account how many minutes he's played in this last week, because he's played all 3 games, hasn't he? And I think he pretty much played the whole game on Wednesday night. I'm not reading the chat, so you keep bringing it up if you like. But yeah, so you played.
Did you hear that, chat? Sorry, did you hear him just disrespect you? Yeah, he's turning into like all the other YouTubers that ignore their chat, whereas we interact. And now he thinks he's above you lot as well. He's going to ignore you. We need to vote.
Let me clarify. Let me clarify. Are you saying you watched the first half?
Yes.
I thought
you thought it was that good. You thought it was that good that you thought I'm not going to fucking bother with the second half.
No. The second half I was busy, mate. I had things to do, man. That's why I gave. Otherwise, I would have been at the game, man. I gave up my. I gave the opportunity to somebody else to go, didn't I? Remember?
Oh, going is beneath him now.
Yeah, I know what your other plans were. They don't convince me.
Oh God. Yeah. Put that in a poll. Can you guess what?
It's in the poll, mate. Don't worry.
Busy. I'll keep the chat busy.
By the way, this is only meant to be 2 minutes. Ant, who saw the whole game, summed it up in 30 seconds. Right? You saw half the game, and we're halfway through the show.
All I'm gonna say, the last thing I'm gonna say from what I saw, I'm not surprised he gassed out after about 70 minutes. I'm talking about Elliot Anderson now.
How would you know?
That's what he's heard. That's what he's heard.
So I've heard. I caveated the whole thing. I don't know why you're killing me, man.
Don't you dare start complaining about the time Nuno made his subs.
No, exactly. That's what I mean. I can't talk about that, so I'm going to pass that on to you. Right. Like Keith says, I'm gangster tripping, so you guys carry on. I'm having a smoke, man.
All right. Well, seeing that Crypto actually was there, I assume you stayed till the end, Crypto, yeah?
I did. Yeah, I did stay to the end.
True fan. Right. Give us he's eating up most of your time, so blame the celeb.
I know that Ant doesn't really agree, but I did think it was quite an entertaining match. And as I said earlier, this season so far, I think it's been quite entertaining. Look, I'll start with the positive. We're undefeated, which, if we look back at previous seasons, I think we're doing quite well. Now, some people would say, and we'll talk about this, we should have more points. Maybe we should be even further up the table, and maybe so. But I think we're doing okay. We're not doing terribly. So I want to kick off with the positive. In terms of a brief summary, and again, we'll touch on some of these points. The thing that's really annoying me is all this agenda against Sangare. People don't seem to realize what Sangare's job is. Sangare is a CDM. He's there to make defensive tackles to stop the pressure on the defense. And he did exactly that yesterday. He made 15 successful tackles yesterday. Out of all of the players in the Premier League who played yesterday, Sangare had the most amount of defensive tackles. That's what he's on the pitch to do. I don't know why there's this huge agenda against him. It's like if he doesn't play a 10-10 every match, he's then shit. He's not. He's very good at the job he's put there to do. You can't compare him to someone in the 8 position whose job it is to go forward. And I thought Anderson was absolutely brilliant yesterday at doing that. But I'm fed up of this Sangare agenda. The thing that annoyed me yesterday, and it annoys me every game, is the subs. We're talking like 70.
He's going to cover all the topics.
Wait, can you just go one by one, innit, and it's like he's just reading his list.
Yeah, he's reading his bloody list.
All right, Crypto, this is how it's going to work.
I'll stop there. Otherwise,
you're going to stop there. I'm going to turn to Ant, and I'm going to add one little point. I
was just trying to get Ez up to date because he doesn't know half of this.
But yeah, I appreciate it, Crypto. Thank you.
That's right.
Before I bring Ant in, who saw Sangare's whole performance, right? Who says there's new mates? I mean, the richer, you get, mate, the higher up the social ranking he's gone. Anyway, and it wasn't just at the ground, right? Sangare was getting pelters in the watch along as well from the chat. Yes, you lot, I got receipts. Yeah. Now, I didn't think it was his best game, nor did I think he was bad. I think he was a little slow on some of the, like sometimes when he was passing, maybe taking an extra touch. But I don't know why he was being singled out as the scapegoat.
I don't know what people expect from a solo CDM. Yesterday, it was crying out for a double pivot, actually, the way Wolves played, because I thought he had a fantastic game up until he tired. And one of the reasons he tired is because he's often left on his own. There was one particular time I looked at, and there were three Wolves players like passing it to each other, and he was trying to get to each one. What he needed was somebody else to come and back him up, such as a Dominguez or a player of that ilk, to come and back him up. Because if you try and think about it, when you're a single pivot at the back, a CDM, as we're using Sangare at the moment. Now, he is brilliant, but even the best of CDMs, apart from perhaps Rodri, who can do that job on his own, they're covering. Do you realize how much pitch they're having to cover? Because the two guys in front of him have gone up. If they break that, any sort of, I've got words to say about press as well, but any sort of press, if they break that, he's on his own, perhaps facing 3 players coming at him. And I don't know what people are expecting of him. So part of the reason why sometimes he may look as if he's running around like a headless chicken, maybe, is because he's on his own.
He's trying to get everyone.
Help sometimes. And I thought he was really good up until, like I say, he tired. Just as Dominguez tires when he's doing the job solo, he tires.
And once they get carded as well, that's when they start to fall off because obviously they don't want to get sent off.
I think he played quite well after he was carded, though. I didn't notice.
Yeah, I genuinely don't know why there's so much hate towards him. For the position he's in, he's doing his job. I don't know what people expect. People think so.
You put out some stats where he was like top tackler in the country or something, didn't you?
Yes, he was. Yeah, I don't know what people are expecting of him. He is there to help the defense. Our defensive line has been so much better this season. And yesterday, I didn't even see the goal because we were still celebrating, trying to wind up the Wolves fans, and then they all started jumping up and down. But our defense now is a lot better. And I feel more comfortable that when we do concede, I don't feel like we're going to concede again in the later stages of the game, etc. I feel like I've got more confidence in that back line. Yes, we've had differences in the back line as well. People like Milenkovic, absolutely fantastic. He's quickly becoming one of my favourite players. But Sangare is helping. He's taking that massive amount of pressure. This is what we didn't have last season. And it still does annoy me that he brings on Yates and not Dominguez when Sangare goes off. Because yesterday, I'm not going to go in on Yates, but there was times yesterday where Yates had the ball and he's walking around like Mr. Bean. And I'm not talking about Rob. He's literally walking around like Mr. Bean. He doesn't know where to go. His hands are like this. He's looking at people not knowing what to do. He just stood there and then he turns around and passes back. And it's not.
Yeah,
it's not
I think you're being harsh, but you're right. There was one. I think it was Elanga made a run into the channel. I think that's the one you're talking about. And he was completely free. And Yates just looked up and then turned around and gave it back to Milenkovic or something.
I don't understand. I know people love Yates. I understand that. I love him too. He's a homegrown player. But I don't understand how people think Yates is better than Dominguez. Dominguez is still one of the best players we've got. And he should be the natural replacement when Sangare is tiring for me.
Did Sangare need to come off? Was he tiring?
Yes, he was tiring. He was yellow carded. So it made sense that he came off. But putting Mr. Bean on is not good enough in a Premier League match.
Well, I'm confused by it. I'm confused by the. Sorry, can I just say?
Of course you're confused by it. You didn't see it.
No, well, let me fucking speak, man. I'm confused by the slack that Sangare is getting, but also confused by Wolfie giving him 5 out of 10. That's the only bit of player ratings that I got up to. But why is he got a 5 out of 10?
I think that was me. Suicide. The goal, yeah.
No,
is
for
it
me.
Because of that?
No, not because of the goal. He can't get through 90 minutes. That's the big issue. You can't have a.
Yeah, but he does so much
off 55. I think it's like 55 for 60 minutes. Yeah, he can't get through. He got a yellow card, and then he kind of, and also I think he may have picked up a knock just before half time. I don't know how you guys saw it in the stands.
Yeah.
I think what they did, the knock was just before half time, and they were like, all right, let's get him in at half time and then give him 10 minutes, see how it is. And he looked shaky in those 10 minutes for me after the break. And then he came off.
The amount of work he puts in. I just say
just quickly going back to crypto stats then. So for him to get those stats in 60 minutes of play,
yeah.
And other players were
I don't get it. I don't get it.
I'll tell you the problem, right? I'll bring Ant in a second. The problem with Sangare was every time he put a tackle in, it's exactly what Ant was saying. The ball wasn't going to a Forest player. That was the problem, right? Even if you put him at fault for the clearance, and I got to say the clearance was weak. When I think it was Lamina brought it down, he brought it down so he would have control of the ball. But it was such bad control that Wolves got lucky and it went to Bulgaria, whatever his name was. So there was a lot of luck involved in that. And I think people are being harsh, but I stand by. I don't think it was his best game, but I don't think he was crap. No. He needs some help in there as well. Go on, Ant.
Yeah, he needs some help.
And
well, I think you've all said it all, haven't you? There's not much for me to say now.
All right, Moody.
Actually, are you still talking about Sangare?
Yeah.
But you're not listening.
No, the reason I got confused is because Ed said you gave him a 5. I think that's a little harsh, mate.
Yeah.
All right.
I think this is 6.5.
I suppose it depends. It depends on your rating system, doesn't it? Some people think 7 is average. I think 5 is average. You know what I mean? So
I didn't think there was better than a 7 out of 10 yesterday apart from Anderson. For me. Yeah.
This is a big problem.
Was a 7. I can't remember what I scored.
This is the weak link in our defense. Nico Williams is brilliant at going forward. I think he's fantastic. He gets down the line. He gets
okay, so then I saw something different.
He's not there. In a 5-back, he can play. And Nico Williams is good as a proper 5-back wing-back. He's not good enough defensively.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Too much pressure on him in a 4-back. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying there's too much pressure. And what you'd notice yesterday is 90% of our players in the first half all went down the left-hand side, Aina to Callum Hudson-Odoi. So many of them. And the amount of work and the amount of mileage that Callum Hudson-Odoi was putting down that win was incredible because I was sat 4 rows up.
Let's touch on Nico. I just got to catch up with some super chats. Matt with the £2. Thank you so much. He says, keep the faith. Great start. A great season ahead. 12, he says. Higher. Thank you for the £2. And Amit with the $5 Canadian. Love you, gents. Who were we against? We needed these points. These are the games we need to, one, be dominating, and two, winning will matter at the end. That's going to be the main topic of tonight. But I want to know what the chat thinks on Nico Williams, because I've not been sold on him for a long time.
They seem to be
hold on. People are saying that he's good at attacking. I'll bring you in. He's had 2 assists and 1 goal, I think, in 2.5 years. Yeah. I think Montiel's had more assists than him in the limited games he had for Forest last year. So I'm not buying this attacking prowess of him. And defensively, he gets done by the ball in between the lines so much. He got done yesterday early on. He did. Whether you like or not, he did. And
I think he did. But yeah, I thought it was recovered. But now I want to speak.
Doubled up on him. But go on, Anne. What are you saying?
I was going to say, I don't think Nico Williams is a bad player. I think he's a good player. But my philosophy has been and always will be, you pick your best players. And for me right now, I think that Murillo should have played. That was a big disappointment because that guy is an experienced, really, really clever footballer and a good footballer. And him going down that left, where I think would really help us. And of course, that, in my opinion, that would mean Aino moving over to the right, which means we'd have to put Nico on the bench for the time being. It don't mean he's crap. Don't mean we're never going to see him play for us again. It just means that at the moment, in my opinion, a safer and more attacking option would be Moreno and Aino. That would be what I would play. I'm kind of hoping that that's going to come in pretty soon because we can't. People have said to me, "Oh, 5 points out of 9 is not bad." Correct. 5 points out of 9 wouldn't be bad if we'd have played Chelsea, Man U, and Liverpool. When you're playing Bournemouth, Southampton, and Wolves, 5 points out of 9 to me, it's not great. It's not great because we need to take points off the people around us for us to progress. And we haven't done that. We've missed out on 2 opportunities to win games. Both games we were in the lead. And both games followed a similar pattern of where we played some great football, dominated for a while, and then it just went. And that's my concern. So the Nico Williams thing, okay, like I say, you've heard my thoughts on that. But for me, that's not like the massive big problem we have. The big problem we have, for me, is we're not capitalising on winning positions again.
And Ez, that's the key point.
Sorry, one quick thing, which will lead into another discussion later on, is in those cases, for me, the fault lies with the lack of difference-making substitutions. Too late.
But as the point Ant's made there, okay, I'll give you some positives and negatives, and you pick what you want from this. So we have not spent a single minute behind since the league restarted. Right, Forest have not been behind in a game. Positive. Negative. Other positive. We're going in, and I think we're 9th now for the next 2 weeks. Lovely. One place off where I predicted. Negatives. We've already dropped 4 points from winning positions. And my other negative that I want to talk about at some point is I don't feel like we're scoring from open play. We've had 1 of our goals from open play. The rest have been from corners and dead balls. So, shock horror, isn't it?
Mad.
So, what are your thoughts about where we should be? Now, let's as well, just because the twats in the background are like, they're going to be a negative. Everyone's happy with where we are, but it's about the perspective of the opposition that we're looking at here, which is what Ant would say.
Well, it's also a case of like looking at the stats versus the eye test, because I think Crypto mentioned earlier, we've been playing some really good football this season. I've been really impressed by some of the moves, which we didn't have in other games. I think we've got better domination in the midfield that we haven't had in previous seasons. There's a lot of positives. League position-wise, yes, I think he would have taken as a position, maybe a couple more points added to it. I think realistically, we all wanted like 7 points out of these opening 3 games and expected we should have got that. No, well, let's be realistic. We could have obviously.
When you look back at it,
in reflection now, if you look
hindsight,
at how the games went, absolutely. If you look at the games went, we could have quite easily got that. And it's a point that Amit touched on, and that I also mentioned a couple of weeks ago, is that how important these opening games are, because teams are still establishing themselves, getting their fitness. Players are still coming in. There's a transfer deadline still open, so it will still be a mix and match for a lot of teams going into these few games, and how important these points could be towards the end of the season. So I totally agree with that. But I've got to be positive, because I can't remember the last time Forest started a Premier League season 3 games unbeaten, which, you can look at the points, you can look at the situation, you can look at where we were last season as well. And I'm going to be on the glass half full. I'm really positive about the options now Nuno's got. I felt I know that the guys came off the bench. So Sosa and Jota did come off the bench yesterday. They'll
really
start
late,
89th minute.
Jota, but I think there was like 10 minutes of injury time or something at the end.
He didn't know that. He didn't know that.
No, I think he did know that, because
Even if he did, 10 minutes ain't enough, Ez.
No, it's not enough. No. Certainly not enough. That's not the point I'm making. I do want to touch a little bit on the Moreno one, because we do have to be a little bit careful with him, because obviously he's had injuries over last season or so. So he played the 90 minutes on Wednesday. I think it was too soon for him to be playing yesterday. But I think we all agree, and I think Nuno knows, going forward, he is our left back and he is quality. And if you can get that delivery from him, and with reliability of Aina down the right side, that's that problem solved. But I just want to touch on Nico a little bit, because I know we've moved on from him, but just a little bit. From what I saw, after that initial burst through by Ait Nouri, I felt we dealt with him quite well for the rest of the half. I don't think we managed to get past him. So, like I say, I'll go with your opinion on this, your guys'
well, you can have your opinion, and you get half an opinion.
With your views on it, you saw more of it.
I mean, Ez, you can have your opinion, even though it's always wrong.
Yeah, exactly. So you would know exactly, Crypto.
I would agree with that.
I think it was it Amit in the chat made a good point, and we've discussed this before.
He's making quite a few good points in the chat.
The football in the first half seems really good. We completely dominate. We control the possession. We're going out and scoring goals.
Let me finish up, because that's you're nicking my next bit, because I was going to touch on Amit's, because that's the thing, and it was a thing last season. It's been a thing since we got promoted. When's the last time we had a 90-minute performance? We'll get a first half performance and not, so all right, okay, take over, guys. Go on.
There you go, Crypto. He's kindly relinquished the mic back to you.
I'll take over on the second half of these part-timers who only watch the first half.
Yeah.
Just before you do, let me just catch up on the super chats. We got a £2 sticker from Mikey Boy. Thank you so much, Mikey. Look at him. When he's not on the mic, he goes off camera, probably gets his nose powdered. Yeah, okay, all right.
Chanel perfume, man.
The legend Nick with the 16 months, 2-tier Rob TV. I love it. Should have sold Williams when we had the offer from Atalanta. This is the one he's talking about. I'm not going to argue. I'm going to tend to agree with that.
We've got De Silva as well as backup.
If De Silva's ready, yeah.
I think he is.
I think he might be as well.
Okay, so sorry, who was about to speak? Oh, yeah, and also hit those like buttons. We're on 157. There's 500 of you in here on YouTube. Another 200 odd across the network. Make sure you've hit that like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you're new. You know the drill by now, surely.
There is something a little bit concerning.
Is your name
You guys know that I'm not a big fan of the cups and that, but I have to say the most promising and exciting game I've seen Forest play this season, it was that game against Newcastle when we had all those new players in.
And do you know what, Ant? Just on that point,
Newcastle weren't weak, by the way. Sorry, but Newcastle weren't weak. They didn't put out a second string.
But what's the most disappointing thing from that is that now Miguel doesn't get given a proper chance, because I don't think Nuno is going to bring Miguel in. But I think Miguel is a better keeper. I know we've only seen him once, but he was absolutely class in that cup game. He was brilliant.
You never know.
One of the man of the matches Miguel was. I thought his saves, because he is naturally taller. He's probably 4 or 5 inches taller than Sells. He has that extra reach. I'm not saying he would have saved the game.
Would he have saved it? No, I want you to say.
I don't think personally. I think it was probably, I don't know, 7 or 8 inches away, I don't think he would have saved it. But he has that extra reach, and it means for something. And he is very athletic. In that cup game, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. One thing I wanted to mention that we haven't touched on yet is, and this isn't an excuse, but the referee yesterday was appalling.
Well, come on, man. Why are you mixing 30 seconds? A shotgun approach, man. He just entered in.
You just talked about Miguel and whether that.
Who's getting sacked first?
Should we just call this?
You're already on to the next fucking topic.
The problem is, you started talking about what I was going to talk about before I had my go.
I think it's just been me and Ant tonight. I think it's just been me and Ant.
Yeah. I'm happy with that. I've got things to do, man.
I got things
to do. You can carry on.
Yeah, you're off to freaking Mr. Beast channel or something. That's next. Anyway, all right, but I get what you're saying, Crypto. Just don't shotgun everything. Would Miguel have saved it?
No, I don't think Miguel would have saved it. But I would have him in goal.
All right, chat. I've got the poll in there. Sorry, Ant. Sorry. I've got the poll in there. Do you think Miguel would have saved it? Go on, Ant.
All right, a couple of things. Crypto didn't even see the fucking goal, right?
True. I saw it on replay. I was there and I didn't see it. We were all looking at the Wolves fans right next to it.
It was 3 minutes between the goals. How did you not see it?
Because we were literally just chanting towards the Wolves. I was sat right next to the Wolves fans. So,
oh, you in the Bridgeford?
I was in Lower Brighton Clough, but the literally the seats next to the Wolves fans.
Oh yeah, you were in Lower Brighton. How was the width of the seats, mate? Are you good?
It was good. I could fit in the seat, fit through the turnstile. It's all looking,
That's good.
Walking the dogs is paying off.
It is.
Go on, Miguel.
Yeah, my second point was I was literally right behind the goal, in the upper tier, but literally right behind the goal. So I had a perfect view of it. And I have to say, when it happened, my initial thought was, could have saved that, because it was pretty central. It was not in the corners at all. It was pretty central, and Sells almost got to it. So when I say he should have saved it, I'll step back from that. I've got to be honest with you. My immediate thought was Miguel would have got to that because he's so much bigger.
Maybe.
Yeah, I think that's harsh.
I'm talking. Right.
Carry on.
So he is so big and his arms are so long.
What Crypto?
He's so tricky in his old age, isn't he? Now he's hit 80.
Yeah, well, I've given you lots of time before I start getting pissed off at you. I've been quiet, but he
has been well behaved. It's that maturity.
So I believe not that he would have saved it, but it's possible that he could have saved it. That was my immediate thought, because Sells was quite close to it, and it was in the middle of the goal. It was a great shot. Don't get me wrong. I've seen it since on the TV, and I've thought, wow, that really whipped in there. So I've kind of stepped back a little bit. But first of all, I was certain Miguel would have got to that. Okay, and that's like live at the match. So from behind the goal.
And you're getting compared to Kamala Harris in the chat.
I don't know who that is.
He's not reading off a script. He's not for a teleprompter.
I don't know who that is.
Joe Biden's vice president,
Democrat nominee.
Oh, right, yeah.
Wait, okay.
No, we won't get into politics.
Well, anyway, 65% of the chat are agreeing with Ant. Ez, what did you think? Did you get that far in the game?
Oh yeah, I saw the goals. Shut up, man. I think it's harsh. I think it was a great strike. Had dip on it. Came out of nowhere. Sangare, at blame for the.
Sorry, Ez. Sorry, Ez.
Sorry, go on.
Sorry, Ez, mate. But I was at the game, and I was behind that goal. And believe you me, no, listen, I'm being absolutely serious now. He had loads of time to see that. There was no place in front of him. It was like the fucking Red Sea. It opened up, and he had loads of time to see that shot.
And who opened up? Who opened up? Einar's the one who opened up. Einar turned his back and stepped to the left.
With the step to the right.
Yeah, but he didn't know what way.
Yeah, so he got a good sight of it, and that. Yeah, but I just still think it was hit so well. It dipped over him. From what I saw, I'll have to see it over again.
Yeah. It's difficult to say.
I take your word for it. You were sat behind it.
Shoelace at the time and not saw it. So you can't be certain. But my immediate impression was that could have been saved.
You did have a cracking view yesterday.
It was central. It wasn't in the corner.
Yeah.
But it was my initial reaction was he should have saved it, but when you watch the late swerve away from
Yeah,
Sells,
it's pretty hard.
what I would say is,
you think Becca would have saved it?
well, no,
Anderson.
what I'm saying is, I don't think Sells is at fault for the goal. Is how I would put it.
I'm more putting it on his physicality. That
He's shorter.
Yeah.
I would agree with that. I think Miguel's extra inches in his arms. I'm talking here. Yeah, Nikki, calm down. Nikki, calm down. Nikki, right? Calm down.
Yeah,
right?
Nikki, definitely calm down.
Definitely Nikki, right?
After some of the videos that Nikki sends us, he definitely needs to calm down.
I just think, as you say, physicality-wise or build-wise, he may have reached it. But I don't think Sells is to blame. Let's move on to another subject. Before we do, let's catch up on the super chats. Diamond F, my man, with the £5 says, one of the many good things about FFTV is the involvement of the chat. Love it. Makes for the best streams. Don't ever change FFTV. All we'd say back to that is you guys don't ever change, right? Because yes, you are off-putting with your freaking remarks in the comments, but I love them. I love them. I won't change it for the world. And we will always involve you guys.
We're all in this together. Us, you, all of us, you know.
I mean, Ez is only in it for half the amount of time.
Besides, thank you so much. So much love to you. And legend Nick Clark, who's father of the famous Logan with a 4.99. He says, this whole we're playing good stuff, yet we don't win sounds like two-tier politician crap. What is there to be happy about unless we get 3 points? You need a session with Ant, mate. That's what you need. You need grumpy old Ant right now, man. I think Ant kind of would agree with quite a lot of that. But thank you so much, Nick, and send our love to Logan, the legend that is Logan.
I was just thinking, it's these billionaire politicians telling you that everything's great and all right and we're doing well, and meanwhile people are at food banks. You know what I mean? It's a similar thing.
I know.
Yeah, and shout out to Colton, who's always in here. Congratulations on beating Spurs. I did enjoy that today. Appreciate you being in here, bro. And there's Crypto's boy right there, the lucky one.
Send us your dress, Matt.
Matt, you better like seeing that you just won a free T-shirt and you won the football prizes thing.
Not a T-shirt,
shirt. Sorry, jersey. Should we go American jersey?
Hello, jersey.
Jersey. All right, so let's move on to the next topic because there's a lot to cover off. I can't find it.
Mr. Anderson is the next topic.
And so I'm Mr. Anderson.
For me yesterday, Anderson was by far the man of the match. I thought he was absolutely fantastic, especially in the first half. The thing I like about this pairing with Anderson and Sangare is they're the polar opposite. So Sangare is there to control the midfield, to slow down the attack, to make the tackles, and Anderson is minute after minute creating chances. He's creating more chances for me than Morgan Gibbs-White is, and we should probably add that as a point as well. But he's just brilliant. He's all over the pitch. His passes are brilliant. His through balls are really good. And all of the chances in the first half pretty much were coming from Anderson starting the attack. So for me, he's like Victricius has said, he's a cracking player. And I think he'll only get better because he's only young, isn't he? So, yeah, I agree, Andy. His first name on the team sheet for me. I thought they're absolutely brilliant yesterday. Sangare is not shit. We've discussed that earlier on.
I wonder if Colton would take him back at Newcastle. Everyone's saying, what a signing, what a signing.
He is very, very good.
I think Adam's got his Sangare agenda. You're welcome to it, mate.
15 tackles. Well, I did get a bit of heat on Twitter for suggesting that maybe Anderson should play in the 10 to give Morgan Gibbs-White a chance to fight back for his place. Because I don't want to get onto a different point, but Morgan Gibbs-White yesterday.
It's not like you, is it, Crypto?
I'm going to say this quickly. Morgan Gibbs-White yesterday was not going to
go on to the next point.
I know.
And we've said it before, but I'm not blaming him fully because when Morgan Gibbs-White tries to break, Wood is sat behind him, and Wood's a brilliant player. No. Anderson for me needs to be in that tempo.
Stop making excuses for MGW. Stop making excuses.
But he wasn't brilliant yesterday, MG.
There's no excuse for the way that guy played.
He had moments.
No, it was like it was shit.
To say he's supposed to be our best player, he's not.
Go on, Ann.
I've said it. It was dreadful. And I'm sick and tired of people saying we need to build the team around MGW. Are you fucking mental? Have you seen the way that guy plays? Right now, I love MGW. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think he's got loads of potential. But he's got to start performing, because he's not performed for us for a long
because
time.
He's not scared of his position. That's what I'm trying to say to people. He should be
scared of his position. You've got Anderson in there now.
Yeah, but he's not, is he? No one's made him scared of his position. He's probably the first name on the team sheet. MGW captain, England player. It can't be like that. People are getting mad on Twitter because I said he didn't have a good game. He's not playing well this season.
Sky would probably still giving him the man of the match yesterday. That's why. Because
and what happens is
hell.
All these commentators on Sky and all these other teams, who are you scared of? Morgan Gibbs-White. Why? He's not in form. You should be scared of people like Anderson. You should be scared of Callum Hudson-Odoi. You should be scared of Wood. Morgan Gibbs-White at the moment is not playing up to his full potential.
Correct. Now,
what are you saying on Morgan?
Let me say. Let me settle down. Let me settle down.
Yeah, go on, mate. Go on.
I'm being hyperbolic, right?
No,
Let me settle down a little bit.
Big word.
Be a bit more mature, right?
Well,
MGW has the potential to be a fine football player. However, he has not shown that potential for months and months and months. And yesterday, he was awful. There was no redeeming factor about yesterday. He was our worst player. Okay.
Nah.
If you want to sit there and praise the guy like all the other podcasts do, and all the other media outlets do, and all the other fans do, that's your prerogative, right? Mine is just one man's opinion. But in my opinion, there's so much hype about him that people are afraid to criticize him, and all we get is Morgan, your best player, Morgan Gibbs-White. Who's manager, player of the match, Morgan Gibbs-White.
There is a huge expectation. To be fair to him, there is a huge expectation, and I think that's why when he doesn't play to his level, it's more obvious, because we know what he can do. We know what he did last season, but he's not keeping up with it this season.
He had loads of rubbish games last season. Can't remember me calling him out for it.
Yeah, well, I agree with you on that, and because I know Crypto says he was amazing last season. I don't think he was. I think he had a lot of bad games. But just based on yesterday, so I obviously can look at.
Yeah,
what I saw. Crypto. Let me just finish, please. Crypto, let me just fucking finish, man. Honestly,
let everybody finish. Crypto, you've been right. Twat today.
Tonight is our Crypto.
It's gonna come.
I like it.
So, let's have a conversation. So I can say from what I saw on the of first half and what I've seen obviously on the highlights, he made some key passes that could have led to goals. There's some the flick up to Chris Wood in the box, the flick through to Anderson when they had that move. I thought that he linked up really well. Even his free kick was probably the best free kick he's ever taken in his whole time for Forest. Maybe fear of James Ward-Prowse coming in at some point, but I felt he did all right. I don't know. I think you're being a little bit harsh on him yesterday, but he has got, like Crypto says, all the pressure on him.
I saw the whole game, mate. I saw the whole game.
No, that's fine. That's fine. But
no, I don't think I'm not being snarky. That's fact. I saw the second half as well.
What would you have rated him out of 10 for his performance yesterday, Ant?
3.
3.
Right, and that's not. You're not being harsh. Come on, man.
That's harsh.
No,
come on. It should be constructive criticism.
In my opinion, 5 is average. He was below average for me. He was below average.
No,
4.9.
Does anybody else believe he was below average yesterday?
I'm sorry, mate. You've got no right in this conversation because you didn't see him in the second half. You didn't see him in the second half.
I wasn't asking you. I was asking the chat. Does anybody else believe he was subpar yesterday, or as bad as a 3 or below 2 points below average yesterday, like Ant's saying? So yeah, I'm not giving my opinion. I'm asking.
What I would say.
What relevance has that got? It's my opinion.
I'm asking them their opinion. I'm asking if they agree with your opinion.
By getting other people to say he was brilliant yesterday. You don't need to get other people. It's my opinion.
I'm asking if they agree with your opinion. Did you not hear what I said?
I agree with David's opinion.
I swear, don't wind me up. Carry on.
Right, you, David. Why am I talking bollocks, mate? You think Morgan Gibbs-White played well yesterday? For a player of his quality and caliber, you think he played well yesterday? Seriously?
Yeah, but wait.
Stupid things like that in the chat.
No, that's his opinion, and you give yours isn't right above everybody else's.
I don't agree. I think he played well. Not he's talking about. I always say I don't care what people call me, providing they give me a rational argument against what I'm saying. Not just you're a cunt or you're rubbish or you're useless or you're stupid. I want them to tell me why they believe that to be the case. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, that's a fair argument back.
Or are we just to be abused by people? Is that why?
But that's fun. That's fun. Well, what I'll say, I'll put the poll up in the chat. 47 agree with Anne, 53 disagree with Anne. So you could argue this is quite divisive. It's pretty close to 50-50, right? What I will say, let me add.
Sorry, what did you rate?
I can't remember. I think I gave him a 6 or a 7.
Average score,
when I give a rating to a player, I am judging on what I believe his ability is. So if he plays to the top of his ability, it's 10. I'm not saying he's a 3 against Ryan Yates playing. I'm saying for him, it's a 3.
Okay, I think that's fine because what you're saying is you're holding him to a higher standard.
Of course I am. Yeah.
Okay. Right. But would you agree if I said there is no way in hell Morgan Gibbs-White is anywhere near being the problem, or not that we have many problems in the team, but he's last on the list for the problems, I would say pretty much.
He's our main creative force. If he's not functioning, that's a massive problem.
The problem for me with Morgan Gibbs-White is not necessarily his individual play, but the link up with Chris Wood doesn't work. How many goals do we score where the ball goes through to Morgan Gibbs-White and through to Chris Wood? It doesn't happen. Now, I'm not necessarily blaming Morgan Gibbs-White for that because Chris Wood is normally stood back on the halfway line.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm not trying to be critical of them because I think they're both brilliant players, but it's not working. The link up is not working. Morgan Gibbs-White can play well with Taiwo because Taiwo makes pacey runs forward. The problem with Taiwo is he then shins it into Rosette, so that's not working either. That's why I would have Anderson in the 10 for a match and see how that works, because there needs to be some competition for his position. And when I say this on Twitter, people start crying and slating us because we mentioned that Morgan Gibbs-White had a bad game. People need to get over it. He needs to have some competition in that position.
I am staggered. I thought I'd get nobody agreeing with me, but the poll's gone quite well, actually.
51. Is that that's Jolly Ollie logging onto his backup accounts, mate? And just
I'm genuinely surprised. I thought it might be
super fanboy right there, man. And super fanboy Jolly Ollie there bringing the stats up. I half agree with Van and I half disagree with Van. I don't think we've seen the best of Morgan Gibbs-White yet.
No, we haven't.
I think his purple patch was the end of the first season. That was where he was playing his best football for me personally. Yeah, where he had Danilo running in front of him. He had Jono to the right. Taiwo was able to at least connect with the football at that stage. Yeah, that for me was his purple patch. But I think that's the point. He's not got what Crypto said. He needs someone higher up. He doesn't need the striker behind him, man, or alongside him holding his hand. He needs someone higher up.
I agree. I actually do agree with that, and I think I said with some of the forwards we linked with, even Eddie Nketiah, I said it'd actually be perfect for Morgan Gibbs-White because that's something that Nketiah does do. He does break lines, whatever the profile of the players I'm talking about.
I can't believe
that doesn't excuse him for continue losing the ball and passing to the wrong team. That doesn't excuse that. You still pass to your own team.
Just to answer London Voice. The problem for me is Morgan Gibbs-White because you can't take Wood out of the team because Wood's the one who's scoring all our goals. So if the link up between Morgan Gibbs-White and Wood is not working, the person who needs to come out of the team is Morgan Gibbs-White.
You would take him out of the team?
I would bench Morgan Gibbs-White for the next game to give someone else a chance to play in the 10.
That's nuclear, man.
It's not working.
You would as well.
Morgan Gibbs-White is not working in the 10 role.
He's played rubbish all season.
I mean, the 8.
What's the problem with?
Okay, but that's then. Okay. Has Callum? All right. Okay. Has Callum Hudson-Odoi played well this season?
Bench him as well. What's wrong with the people? I keep telling you.
You're going to be left before playing on the pitch, according to your logic.
You're going to end up with the B team.
That's what you do. You put your best players. Look at what happened against Newcastle in that cup. How many of that superstar players were dropped then? And look at the performance.
So let's do a poll on it. Who would bench Morgan Gibbs-White next game?
How is it turned into a Morgan Gibbs-White debate? I don't get it.
It's because
there's a problem.
I'll tell you why.
People
because
can't
there's
face
so
their
many people
problem.
out there that say we should build a team around him and he's undroppable. And in my opinion,
yeah,
he's not undroppable.
It's absolute bollocks. People don't want to hear it because he's Morgan Gibbs-White, he's our captain. He's an England player. He's not playing well at the moment. He needs to get out of the team.
You lot got nuclear, man.
I'm not even commenting.
Why doesn't somebody do a highlights reel of his first 3 games this season, all the great passes he's done and the great interceptions and the dribbles?
All right, what about his goal against Southampton that goes 3 points?
It'd be the shortest video. Yeah, he'd have 1 rebounded goal,
which is 3 points. Which is 3 points technically.
Oh, okay, all right. So anybody that scores is undroppable then.
Well,
yeah, he's not undroppable. This is the problem. He doesn't think in his mind anyone's going to replace him. And you know that game under Cooper where he got dropped for a game? He came back and he was brilliant that next game because he was fighting for his position again. I don't think he's fighting for his position because he's not scared of anybody. He's not scared of anybody.
We're not alone in this. There's an awful lot of people in the chat agreeing with us, mate.
Yeah,
so, you know,
there's a lot of people who agree with us, but the people who don't are crying about it, and
ridiculing us.
The truth.
I just think you got bots in the chat. I don't think you got like Gripper. There's number one bot there, Gripper, man. All right, enough Morgan Gibbs. I can't believe this is a discussion, right? I get your points, but I think the nuclear button is too far, right? Let me just catch up with the super chat. Chris with the £2, thank you so much. Hands up, who would have taken 5 points unbeaten? I'd rather have taken 6 and lost 1. I mean, I don't know.
I'd rather have taken what we should have taken, and that's 9.
9, yeah.
We were ahead in all 3 games.
Yeah. Thank you so much for the £2, Chris. And Curtis with the $5. I think Cho and Morgan Gibbs-White need the bench for Sosa, Jota, and Anderson for now. Curtis there getting applause from Agenda and with Morgan Gibbs.
I mean, I don't feel the same way about Callum Hudson-Odoi. That's just Ant's agenda, but
that is.
I've not even said that.
You said bench him. You said bench him.
I did. I did say that.
Curtis, thank you for exposing and appreciate it. Twitter's gonna love this. Fuck Twitter, man.
Oh, no.
Who has time to read all those
tweets? Don't put me on Twitter saying Gibbs-White is overrated and should be dropped.
No, clip him. Yeah, do it. Clip him and put him on.
It was only 2 streams ago. He said we should sell Morgan Gibbs-White.
I'm getting old and tired, and people need to feel sorry for me. Don't put me on Twitter again.
Put him on Twitter. Clip him up. Call him a C-nut. Get him clipped up, right? And get the word spread that Ant has an agenda with Morgan Gibbs-White. Stu, with another £10, Stu. Thank you so much. Watching this is like watching Shameless. Domestic abuse happening. We fight. We are our own fans. LOL. And get a drink. He's earned it. Much love, Stuart. Thank you so much, buddy. You're an absolute legend. Okay, let's talk about some positive stuffs, right? Because I thought he was good yesterday, but again, there were some agendas in the chat on Milenkovic. I thought he was solid, right? But there was a few. I don't know if they'll fess up. I don't know if they'll fess up now in the chat. But I thought he was absolutely calm and composed. Ez, from the 10 minutes you saw, what did you think of Milenkovic?
Yeah, I felt.
Did you see him in the warm-up when the match started?
He settled. Shut up, man. He settled us down, man. I felt we don't panic when he's got the ball. I still don't think we've got somebody who can. His passing isn't as good as I thought it would be. I think he needs to try a few more long passes. I was watching. Is that Zebiani who plays for Bournemouth? He picks up the ball and he looks down the line and gets that killer pass in. They absolutely destroyed Everton in that last 10, 12 minutes last night. So we need somebody who can make those types of passes. But I've got to say, 100%, I've been really impressed with him, and he's just settled straight in. He's not taken time to adjust. He's settled straight into the Premier League, and that's credit to him in itself. You know, we undervalue how hard it is to settle into a new country. You've got the logistical side of it. You're bringing your family over, whatever, and you got to go straight into a new league. And he's done it professionally, immensely. Calm. The players around him seem to like him. He seems to be like a big player in terms of his personality as well. So I'm more than happy with his start so far. And I think if you can keep them two fit, Eminem fit in the middle of our central defense, I think we'll be looking towards the top half of the table, mate. We've got to keep him fit.
Right, I want to just play because we've got a few players to go through, right? And Sosa, I gave him an 8 out of 10 yesterday. The comments were like crazy that I gave him an 8. Like, was I overhyping him?
I think you went a bit early on that one. I liked him. It was I liked him. He's busy.
Wait, chat. What did you rate Sosa out of 10? Get your numbers in. I'm just intrigued here. I said 8. Go on, man.
So you always knock a mark off for being a sub. So you're saying you actually gave him a 9 then? Is that right?
Yeah.
Or you thought his performance
I stand
was
by
worth
it.
a 9?
I stand by it.
No, I didn't feel that. I thought he was lively. I liked him. I'd like to see him again. If I was to give him a rating, I'd give him a 7. Bearing in mind that I give 5 for average. All right. Bearing in mind I give 5 for average.
3 to
Who did he take off, Anne? Who did he replace? Was it
Callum Hudson-Odoi? Callum Hudson-Odoi.
So he came down the left-hand side,
The other thing is, it's really difficult and unfair to judge a player on 20 minutes, 15 minutes or whatever. Because often they can't even get into the game. That's the way we were playing at the time. But I think he made a difference. He sparked it up a little bit. He should have been brought on at 60 minutes, though.
Yeah,
agree.
That's always the problem. The subs are too late. They're always way too late.
All right, we're coming on to that one, Crypto. Stick to Sosa for a second. My God, man. All right, it's coming, man. I will start with you.
He's not on
I will start with you on the subs. Bloody hell.
I will say, from what I saw, Cho didn't have a very good game, so he obviously was the right player to come on.
Cho had a brilliant game. I thought.
Wait. What you rating Sosa from what?
I didn't see Sosa. That's what I mean. I'm obviously going on yours, but from what I saw of Cho, he wasn't a standout in that first half. There were better players around him.
Yeah, the problem with Hudson-Odoi, I think he's becoming easy to read. I don't know if you guys felt that at the ground, but it was obvious he was cutting in. They doubled up on him and then win the ball off him. And 1 or 2 times he managed to squeeze the shot off, but it didn't come off. So
yeah, we shouldn't be too down on because with wingers, I've always found this, even with the best of wingers, except for John Robertson, they're often if they're doubled up on, it's really difficult for them. But obviously that creates space elsewhere, so they're valuable in that. You said
you dropped Joe for the next game.
Yeah, I know I did. That's only because I want to see Jota and Sosa play.
New shiny toy. All right, Crypto. Let's talk about these substitutions, and this is the killer point of the show tonight, right? We have to figure out these subs because are we all firstly in agreement, including the chat? Are you in agreement? Well, let me ask you this, Crypto. Were the subs correct? Let's not talk about the timing yet. Don't start machine gunning the topic. Was the subs correct? So just to refresh everyone's memory, he took off Sangare for Yates. He then took off Callum Hudson-Odoi for Sosa. Yeah. And then I forgot the rest.
Elanga.
Jota came on for Elanga, didn't he?
Taiwo.
And then Taiwo came on for... Who did he come on for?
Anderson.
Taiwo came on for Anderson.
Yeah. And then Morgan Gibbs-White dropped into the 8. We went 4-4-2.
Jota came on with like 2 minutes to go. I mean, I don't necessarily mind the subs as in who was replaced. Everybody knows I'm not a massive fan of putting Yates ahead of Dominguez. I think Dominguez is a fantastic player, and I think he should be on that pitch as the first sub in the central midfield. But the subs itself are fine, but they're too late. I mean, Jota came on in the 89th minute. I know there was 10 minutes extra time, but what do you want him to do? Jota was fantastic in the cup game, and you basically give him 1 minute of regular time. It's too late. It's been too late for the last season. It's been too late this season. It's always too late. Everybody in the crowd mutters it around you as well. You can hear people saying, why doesn't he make a sub? Why doesn't he make a sub? It's always too late. He starts his first subs normally. I know he brought Yates on earlier, but he starts his first subs normally in the 75th minute. And it's not good enough. We need to try and win these games. Take the bull by the horns and get the 3 points. He doesn't seem to do that. It's almost like sometimes he's playing for a draw. I'm sure he's not, but that's what it looks like because the subs are always made so late. And the other thing that it's not an exact, it's not exactly similar. But the fact he just played the same team, for me, I wouldn't have done that either. I think that's a bit pathetic. I think Jota needed to start instead of Elanga. Elanga's fine.
Hold on, go back to the subs, man. Just put the machine gun down. Put the machine gun down. Right?
It's subs are too late.
All right. So if his subs are too late, then I can't. I'll come to this anyway, man. You saw it. So what would you have done? I assume you agree the subs were too late.
Of course they are. They're always too bloody late, aren't they?
So what would you have done?
mean, as I said earlier, well, I'd have changed at 60 minutes because for me, at 60 minutes, I could see that the team was flat. It needed some inspiration. Not just me, but people around me as well. The team needed some spark, some energy, something different because Wolves were gradually taking over and it was easy for Wolves, if I'm honest. They were, because we were flat. And at that point, at 60 minutes, I'd have bought on Jota for Elanga. I'd have bought on Dominguez for Sangare. And
so
probably at that time, Crypto, I don't like bringing too many subs on at once. It's just a thing I have. Sometimes it can disrupt everything.
Remember, you only get 3 windows.
Yeah, I know you do, but that's one window, isn't it? That's one window. So I would have bought those 2 on at 60 and then see how it went. If we still weren't doing anything, then I may have I would have bought on Sosa for Cho after perhaps 70 minutes, something like that. But 60 minutes is my more. If you've got in at half time and things are starting to fight and you come out in the second half, I've seen this loads of times in football, by the way, where you're waiting for the team to wake up, if you like. And if it doesn't happen in that first 10 minutes, then you know it's probably ain't going to happen.
This happens a lot.
That's when I would make the subs.
I mean, that is when you made the sub for Sangare and Yates. But I agree. I wouldn't have bought Yates on. I would have gone Dominguez 100%. And I probably agree with that. I would have probably made 2 subs then. Because if you're trying to change the game like Crypto said,
I'm really sorry. I just want to, because somebody just put it up there. Yeah, sorry, I missed that one. I would have definitely have bought Moreno on for. I would have taken Williams off, and I would have put Moreno on the left and Aina on the right. Because as far as I'm concerned, Moreno.
Was Moreno on the bench yesterday?
Yeah, he was.
That's probably. I would have done that potentially as well. Yeah. Because he's
something different. Just give us something different. They'd have had Aina instead of Williams to contend with, and Moreno instead of Aina to contend with. It would have been 2 totally different problems for him to solve.
I think they need to go even earlier though, because what we've seen these last 3 games is that first half control possession, score goals, come out in the second half. I don't know what he says to them, but we just sit back for 20 minutes. I think he needs to make them even earlier. I'd have someone on at half time. I'd have Jota on at half time.
They made a double sub at the same time, and he bought Huang and Tommy Doyle on for Wolves. So he's been more positive than Nuno on this one, and I do agree. I think this is one thing that Nuno really is getting criticism for, that he could do better. I don't know what your manager rating was, Wolfie, but that's where he's losing points at the moment. Because I was happy with the starting lineup yesterday. I think apart from the Moreno one, but I think Moreno, like I said, we got to protect him a little bit. He did have a few key injuries last season, and he played a lot of minutes on Wednesday. But other than that, I was happy with the lineup. But again, it's his in-game management, and I've got to agree with Ant on this one. He should have made a double sub at around the hour mark and bought, because if you are trying to change the game, Ryan Yates isn't that man. And you can make that sub. It feels like a wasted sub when you do that. When you're taking him off and we're taking Sangare off, and you bring in Yates, it just feels like a wasted sub.
It slows down. The whole pace of the game slows down. Ryan Yates needs to come on when we're a goal or 2 up, and there's 10 or 15 minutes left, and we need to control the game, wind up their attack, make them get yellow cards, get some dirty fouls in. But he doesn't need to come on in the 55th minute to try and act as like a playmaking CDM, because he's not a playmaking CDM. He slows the ball down. The ball starts going backwards when Ryan Yates comes on. And it's so frustrating because we should be winning these matches.
Yeah. And the fact that they try and play between the lines, you want somebody like Dominguez in there who's got that tenacity, who will cut out those diagonal balls and stuff like that. So,
with me, it's the old story. I don't think Yates was bad. I just think Dominguez would have been a lot better.
Yeah, it was the wrong sub.
I'm not blaming
him shit. That's not what we're saying.
I'm not calling him shit. I'm blaming Nuno. Nuno doesn't make the subs at the right time for me. And Nuno, when he brings on Yates ahead of Dominguez, for me, it just doesn't make any sense. Unless, like I said, it's in the last 10 minutes.
Okay, so let's talk about, let me catch up with super chats.
Sure.
We've got Greg with the £2, and he's saying too little, too late in terms of the substitutions.
Yeah.
I fully agree, mate. Thank you so much for the £2. And the lovely Jessica with another £2 saying was good to say Wood play for 90 minutes. She's got the agenda with Wood. Jessica, if you got Wood 11 on your back, I mean, that's surely the most obvious question.
By the way, Wood was very close to being my man of the match. If
No
not,
chance. No chance.
Absolutely, he was superb yesterday. Not only with the goal he scored, obviously, but also some of the little passes he was making, some of the hold up he was doing was exempt. Oh yeah, you know what I did yesterday? I deliberately said, "Well done, Woody," every time he did something. Well done, Woody, because people around me are arseholes, right? Well done, Woody. Well done, Woody. And I was saying
that's one of my biggest criticisms of him, especially when I'm sat next to you, Ant, is that he doesn't hold up the ball and he doesn't.
Exactly.
You're saying he did that more.
Some of his little hold up and little balls around the corner and stuff yesterday were immense. Honestly, I know people don't like him because he's gangly and he's ungainly and he's not quick or anything. But the guy can play football. He can play football.
Wood's going to be our saving grace.
I thought he was excellent yesterday.
We're heavily reliant on Wood. If you take Wood out of the team,
excellence too far for me. Look, Wood is an enigma. He scores the goal, but he's playing too deep. I don't care if he's holding the ball up in the middle or whatever. That should be Anderson's role or Morgan Gibbs-White to then connect into the striker.
Because he's having to come too deep though, because Morgan Gibbs-White can't pass the ball forward.
I don't care whatever the reason is. Yeah, he's playing too deep. Whichever way you want to look at it, he's playing too deep, and he can't press. But he can't press. He's got no press in him. He can't close the defenders down. Morgan Gibbs-White's the one.
I tell you right now, he presses more than anybody else in that team, except for
Morgan Gibbs-White does. Morgan Gibbs-White does. He triggers the press.
In general, Morgan Gibbs-White is a superb presser, no doubt about that.
But only when he's on form.
I'm not saying that Wood's pressing. I'm not saying that Wood's pressing is particularly great, but what I am saying is he does work hard. He does press. It's just that he's not got much speed about him. And often
he puts a lot of mileage in
as well. I actually wanted a quick discussion about pressing because I watched Liverpool today and I thought to myself, what makes a team good at pressing? Is it the fitness of the players? Is it the intelligence of the players? Or is it the manager's system? Because why can't we press like Liverpool press?
I couldn't agree more. Because pressing is about a system and it's about fitness. It's two things. It's if Morgan Gibbs-White goes to defender A, then Hudson-Odoi has to go and cover right back.
Exactly. Yeah.
Which means the striker has to go here. It's about just knowing your role, rock style.
That's what I said. Is it fitness? Is it IQ? Or is it system?
It's system and fitness. System and fitness.
IQ as well.
He doesn't have. Wood doesn't have the pace to do an overlapping run down the side.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter. Even if Taiwo plays, we don't set up for a pressing system. Now, look at Bournemouth. They're really good at pressing. Brentford are ridiculously good at pressing.
More teams.
Liverpool, as you said, the teams that don't press are the teams that tend to struggle to control the midfield.
And the best of all,
we have pressed a lot more this season, haven't we? We are pressing more in games than I've seen before.
We are pressing more.
Yeah, we are.
We're pressing more, but we're not pressing enough.
When we're pressing, that's when we tend to dominate the game. It's when we stop pressing.
Getting back. The first half yesterday was brilliant, but we never continue it into the second half.
I thought it was good against Newcastle as well because those players were so eager.
And that was that B team.
But it goes down to tempo, doesn't it? If you start, I've said this before, the tempo has to start from the beginning. It's very hard to build it up otherwise. And but like Crypto says, why can't we carry that on into a second half? Why can't we get a 90-minute performance?
The tempo starts from the midfield, and when Ryan Yates comes on, the tempo is nil. That's it. When Ryan Yates comes on, the game is dead. The game is dead when Ryan Yates comes on.
No, that's not the problem. The problem is fitness. The problem is fitness, because if they press 15, 20 minutes in the first half, the whole team is dead by the 70th minute. Why is that?
Yeah, but it doesn't make
it. Is it fitness? Because these guys should be fit. So is it, or is it Nuno?
No, but and you can see it. You can see it. If you look at Bournemouth, they were dead on their feet with 10 minutes to go. Yeah. If you look at Southampton, semi-similar. Yesterday there wasn't as much pressing, but there were still players that were the gassing. So why is the fitness levels not high enough? Like Liverpool, Man City.
Of the three things I've said, that's the easiest thing to solve.
Yes.
Is fitness.
Yeah.
You know, so
yeah. Okay. So have we caught up with the super chat? No, there's another one here from the lovely Jessica on Wood. She goes, he really plays for the badge. He does. Look, I've got my opinion on Wood.
Jessica. I backed him.
Look, my stance on Wood, right? Under Cooper, he's one of the worst players I've ever seen at Forest.
Yeah.
When Nuno came in, he works in a Nuno system where Nuno does like the 9 to drop in and use the wingers. I said he'd be better than Taiwo. But I'm looking ahead at the long-term picture here. If Wood gets injured, Taiwo is way off form. He is so off form. I'd put Ezra up front.
But we have got Jota as well. I think we've got an option.
Jota's not a striker. He's a false
I know, but we can still play an attacking, attractive brand of football, playing a false 9. If he's the false 9, not if it's Elanga. You know, if it's somebody like Jota in that false 9 position, I'm quite confident because he will definitely bring the players into play. He'll definitely make the runs and he'll definitely open up space and drag their centre backs out of position. So I'd actually like to see us experiment now. Not to wish injury on any of us strikers, obviously, but we've got to be realistic.
I need to wish it.
No, exactly. We've got to be realistic. It's happened the last 2 seasons, you know. So we have to have a backup plan up until January. So that would be an ideal one for me. And I think Nuno will play on it. But we got to be fair. Like I said, it's all about these first few games. All the teams are in the same boat. Players are getting fitness. You know, new players are coming in after this international break. I think it's going to be a bit more evened out in terms of fitness.
I mean, Ez would be no good as our striker because Nuno doesn't make his subs at half time.
Tumbleweed. Anyway, just remember, please don't forget to hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed if you are new. Topic I want to cover off is that goddamn bold twat that was reffing that game yesterday.
Who was
I thought it was Simon. Simon Cooper, not Simon Cooper.
You know what?
Simon Cooper.
I was sitting next to my brother yesterday, and he's follically challenged. And this guy, a guy about
yes, he is
repeatedly saying, "You're bold twat, you're bold twat."
I'm sorry.
Taking it personally, he should have.
Hey, what do you want, Ann? What do you want, Ann? Anyway, that ref. Look, we had some stinkers last season, but I think of the course of 0 to 90, that's one of the worst reffing performances I've ever seen. He did not let the game flow at all, man. At all. And I thought he was appalling. Chat, did you think the ref had a good game or not? I was just, I couldn't even, and for the first 20 minutes, it was like a basketball match. It was quite entertaining, going end to end. There was a lot of attacking, ebbing and flowing. And I feel the ref killed it. He just killed it. And he kept giving them fouls that he wasn't giving to us, identical scenarios. And then, of course, there was the handball. Now, I don't know what you guys think of it. I've looked back at it, and even with my red goggles on, I don't think it was a penalty, if I'm being honest. But there was a lot in the chat that was saying it was. They were even saying the guy in Sky Sports, what's Mike Dean, is it? Was saying it was a penalty.
Not for a start.
Don't get me started on him, right? But I wanna know if the chat, if you thought it was a pen or not. I'm talking about the incident with Chris Woods.
Well, if you give one, you got to give both, surely.
Wait, how did
you give one?
Neither were penalty.
Yeah. So if you got to give one, you give
neither
the
of the
other.
players was looking at the ball at the time.
Yeah.
It literally came in at the. Come on, if we're going to give penalties for that, we've lost the whole bloody plot.
I agree.
But the referee yesterday, I don't very often go in on refs because I don't like to use it as a kind of excuse. But yesterday, he was truly shocking. Really was bad. I hope we never see him at the City Ground or, refereeing a Forest match again. He was.
Yeah. We got previous with him. I was trying to remember. We got preview. I'm sure we got previous of every ref.
Most teams have.
Someone intelligent.
What I noticed as well is that one of the decisions, or two of the decisions, he was saying like play on, and then people started crowding him, complaining, and they blew the whistle back. He was changing his mind because of players pressuring him, and that is sickening. It was absolutely awful officiating yesterday. There were so many fouls that he blew for, which they just weren't fouls. They were standard tackles. It's like he'd taken all the physicality out of the game. Another reason why Yates shouldn't be on the pitch. It was awful.
There's a few in the chat saying they think it was a penalty. I think the majority are saying no. Just on your point, and when you're saying that he wasn't looking at the ball, if his arms were up in the air like this and he wasn't looking at the ball, would that be a penalty?
Well, not for me, but I do understand why people would say that. I don't see. There's this thing that's going around, which I think is the most ridiculous thing of all, which when they say in a natural position. So now you get players with their arms behind the back. If you're telling me that that's a natural position to make a tackle, then I must be living in a different universe to you. So when a player jumps, his arms naturally come up. So if it hits you on the back of the arm, for me personally, that's not a penalty. That's not a penalty. I look at it like this, right? If a handball is deliberate, now you can argue, we can go down the line of, well, who's saying it's deliberate or not. You can tell if a player moves his hand to the ball, right? If it's deliberate, that's a penalty. If it's not deliberate, for me, it's not a penalty unless it's stopping the ball going in the goal. Because then, obviously, you've stopped the goal. If it's accidental. Yeah,
because look, if you say you're right in line with the goal, you got your back, but you got your arms out, and it hits you and it stops it going in, that's got to be a penalty. If it would have definitely gone in without your interference,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. I don't know the handball rule anymore.
Nobody does.
I'm just like, it's hit his arm. Does that mean it's a pen? I don't know anymore. I don't know if I'm meant to be screaming or shouting or happy or whatever.
VAR certainly don't know. Mind you, VAR, it doesn't matter now because they've just been told to agree with the ref.
Yeah.
So what's
look at what happened in I'll mention it if Ant doesn't, but in the Arsenal game, that Declan Rice one, I don't know what's going on with football anymore. I just don't know.
Honestly, mate, I saw today in the Liverpool match, one of the players, free kick was given, the player picked the ball up, threw it away, nothing was done. You think, well,
Declan Rice should have been sent off.
I mean, it's like when they booked Sangare last week for blocking a free kick.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just natural. He's going to kick it. He's going to try and put his foot in the way. It's just. But
I've seen the opposite happen with that, where the player's done that, and the player taking a free kick's been booked for trying to cheat by getting the other player booked. You know what I'm saying?
Didn't Jota get booked the other day
for rolling anyway? So it wasn't even a valid free kick yesterday. That ball was rolling, so it wasn't even.
Didn't that boy Jota get booked yesterday? And he didn't shake. He didn't do anything other than just go like that.
It was the briefest, wasn't it?
He didn't even wave it. He just went like that.
No, it was like he put it up and then thought to himself better.
Yeah, he realised.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, that's it. Anyway,
so the keeper was a prick. The keeper, sorry, the
referee.
My bad, myself. My bad. Jessica's saying the £2. Thank you so much. I honestly have no words for that ref. Jessica, I fully agree. He didn't make. Look, I don't think he made like shocking decisions. It's the fact he just kept breaking up the play, and it was like 90-10 in favor of Wolves. That's the thing that was doing. So frustrating. Honestly, the standard of refereeing in the Premier League is embarrassing. They should sack Howard Webb, man. We all know he's a Man U fan. Just get rid of him. Get in freaking, who is that bold dude with the scary eyes from back in the day?
Kalina.
Oh, yeah, Kalina.
Bring him in, man.
Legend, man.
Bring him in, man. He will absolutely whip them into shape, man. Seriously. And yeah, we've had a lot of yellow cards, as I says, and I do worry about suspensions coming up shortly.
Yeah.
So
you get a yellow card for everything, don't you?
Yeah.
Well, Forest
yellow card now. Every foul is a yellow card these days. What the hell's happening?
They have to raise the threshold soon, haven't they? Because if they're going to carry on like this, they've got to say it's more yellow cards before you get suspension. Otherwise, it's just going to be chaotic.
Exactly. And as Stuart said here, on a lighter note, can we laugh at Everton and Ashley Young? Guys, tomorrow, 8 p.m, Beat the Drop is going to be an Everton Mike special. An Everton Mike special. Put the kids to bed early tomorrow night. Because I am telling you now, the stream's going to be demonetized pretty much from the first second, okay? So make sure you're tuned in. A Beat the Drop special coming your way. I can't wait.
It's going to be awesome.
Okay. That, I think we've covered most stuff. There's still plenty more we can talk about.
There is one more topic on the agenda.
Go on, Machine Gun.
Elanga.
Elanga. Haven't we
I think
talked
we've
about
kind of
Elanga?
covered it.
Yeah,
we
no, I
kind of
don't think
covered
it's.
that.
Yeah, I think we talked.
I haven't got the energy for
We'll
Elanga.
leave
Yeah,
that till next stream.
It should have taken the money. Should have
What I
taken
would
the money.
what I would like personally is a stream of me against all the people that were slagging me off for saying Dice is crap. Dice is brilliant. Dice should, if we had Dice should get us out. Yeah.
You know what? I'd rather watch, Dan. I'd rather watch.
Bring
I'd
it
rather
on.
watch a stream of you versus all the people who think one Gibbs-White should be in the next game.
That'll be
Listen,
fun.
I don't mind if he plays the next game as long as he plays well.
Fair
Next
enough.
game being away to Liverpool, he probably will.
Okay, and on that note,
yeah,
please do remember to hit the like button. Subscribe if you're new. We're back with Beat the Drop tomorrow, 8 p.m. Put the kids to bed. We will see you then. Thank you for tuning in. As always, chat, you have been amazing. You've been like 100 times better than the panelists. We'll see you tomorrow. Come on, you Reds.
You might not see me ever again.